Hey, it's Joe Amoia, founder and creator of GPSforlove.com. You ever been dating a guy where everything appears to be going great in the beginning? He says and does all the right things, and you think he's the kind of guy that you're looking for, but you're waiting for the shoe to drop. You're trying to figure out, is this really the guy that I'm looking for? Well, if so, I want you to pay close attention. I recently received an email from one of the members of our GPS Love community who says, Joe, I recently just met someone and I'm very hopeful. He has been a man from the very beginning, by my definition and yours. So how long until I know he's the real deal and not just acting? Amy. Well, Amy, this is a great question to ask because the first thing you need to do when you're dating is you need to differentiate, is it a boy or is it a man? Is this a guy who's selfish, who's immature, who's emotionally unavailable, who only cares about getting laid? Now, the good news is those guys, if you're really honest with yourself, are pretty transparent. You can figure those guys out within a couple of weeks, a month or two max. Now, once you figure out that he's a boy, obviously you get rid of him. Now he's a man. But now the question is he just a good man or the right man? Because very often, I know many of you out there dated a guy who's a nice guy, he's responsible, but there's just no attraction. There's no chemistry. You can't see yourself committing day in and day out the rest of your life to this nice guy. It's called the nice guy syndrome, right? You know what I'm talking about. Well, the key is to identify, is this really the right man for you? And unfortunately, that takes a little bit more time. That's why you date someone. That's why you get into a relationship with them. You get to see how they are day in and day out. You get to see how you work together, how compatible you are. And what I found out is that in most relationships, it comes to a sink or swim time. It's like in the beginning, everything's fun. There's this great excitement. You're getting along. It's wonderful. You're having sex on the pool table and everything's cool, right? But then ultimately that wears off and you kind of get into a routine. And at that point, for most people, it's like, are we going to continue on? Is this really the relationship we're both looking for? Or did it kind of run its course? And so what I found in my own experience, that usually happens between 6 to 9 months. And I remember when I was with my wife, I was kind of waiting for that point. I was waiting for the shit to hit the fan and waiting for, her to do something to really reveal that, this wasn't the person. Or I was waiting for her to take off, and reveal that I wasn't the one for her. And ultimately, as that time came, nothing happened. And it just continued on the exact way it was from the very beginning. And so after I broke off my engagement, I promised myself I would never ask another woman to marry me if I wasn't with her for at least a year. Because I wanted to make sure that this person that I saw, this person that I was with day in and day out, was really the person that I needed to have the kind of relationship that I wanted going forward. So Amy, in answer to your question, anybody else who's out there, is that you're going to know he's a good man relatively quickly, within a few months. But to figure out if he's the right man, I suggest that you that you wait a little longer. Because ultimately you have to get through that sink or swim period. And that's just a natural evolution of every relationship. And once you get through that, once you see how easy it is and you see you're on the same page and you still want the same things and you have the same goals, you have the same attention. He's exactly the way he was 6 to 9 months in, as he was in the very beginning. Then you know you've got the right man. And that's ultimately the goal. The goal is to find the right man, the guy who's going to give you everything you need so you can have the relationship you desire and deserve. So this is a really important video if you're trying to create a great relationship. And it's really going to help you, especially to not rush in, to sit back, take your time, and just allow things to unfold. Allow the process to play itself out. And if you do that correctly, that's exactly what's going to happen. And ultimately, he's going to show you he's the right man or simply a good man. So I'd love to hear from you. What's been your experience? Is this how it's worked for you? Or has it worked a little differently? What question, comments, or feedback do you have? Go ahead and put those in the box below. I'll see you next time. As always, an honor, privilege to be with you. I'll see you next time. Much love.